Can I turn MrBeast, one of the biggest YouTubers ever, into a full video game? I'm Daniel, a game developer, and I tried exactly that. Before I talk about the creation process of that game, I just wanna let you know that you can play this game on itch.io right now with the given link in the description. Now let's start this challenge, and to be honest, challenge is the best word because it really was one. Especially in the design phase, where I need to come up with an idea that decides how the complete game looks in the end. It was not that easy. The big problem here was to fit a YouTube channel of that size with tons of formats and videos into one single idea. If I focus on one format only, I would actually turn this format into a video game rather than MrBeast. I still needed to somehow focus on one format only because otherwise it is just not possible. For that I watched his last 15 to 20 videos at least for a few minutes to get a better overview of his content again. One type of video really stuck with me here, being the ones about not leaving some circle or any other shape. In my opinion, these videos also give me real MrBeast vibes immediately when watching. So I sketched out how this would look as a video game. So this here is the idea. You are in a red circle, a big red circle, with some trees and rocks in it. From these you can gather stone and wood to build different towers that help you with killing hordes of monsters. In total, you need to survive 24 waves of monsters to win the big prize of $50,000. Here it shows the number 24 for reference to a 24-hour MrBeast challenge. At the beginning of each wave, the circle also shrinks, which limits you even more in space. Last but not least, the game over conditions are to either leave the circle or get killed by the monsters. I also thought it would be a cool idea to implement money falling from the sky in the form of money piles, bags, and most importantly, briefcases. Now that we've got the idea figured out, let's start building a gameplay prototype. This is to remind you the phase where you try out if ideas work like you want to and if it is actually fun. With this game I already noticed quite early that this is pretty fun, so I moved on to adding a few more things, being enemies. These were a big problem, however, because they would either get stuck on trees and rocks or walk through them completely. So I decided on the biggest foe of any game developer: pathfinding. I first failed at building my own algorithm for pathfinding, and then I started using the A-Star pathfinding project. But this didn't do the trick as well, at least the free version. So I bought A-Star and then I implemented it into the game. One problem still was the enemies being a big fat blob. So I randomized the paths and now they all go a little bit their own separate way. Next I created a bow for combat, and now the end result of the prototype looks like this. Now it's time for things to finally look good, so I added the first version of the ground and some post-processing. The circle was next, and then I drew all the other assets I needed. For the trees and rocks, I drew a few variants so the environment doesn't look boring and bland. It was also that time when I needed to turn MrBeast into a game character, and for this I kind of reinvented the beast from the logo. Before I moved on to the enemy art, I also created the first tower, the automatic bow. At this point the last art things were environment decoration, the automatic bow, and money items. Now it is time for the content phase, which means that I need to create towers and enemies. After I then finished all of these, I created all necessary sprites for that. With that we've got 4 different enemies and also 4 different towers. All of these towers need their own unique amount of wood and stone to be built. Then I also created the different waves by setting the variables, and just after that we are in the polishing phase. This is the road to the finish line. We'll just make the game look, feel and sound the best possible. I always tackle the visuals first because it is kind of my favorite part of game dev. And after I was done, I woke up one morning wanting to make a boss fight. Did I dream too big here? Definitely yes. Do I care? I really don't. So I began sketching it out, and then I moved on to drawing the final version of the boss foe. It ended up being a huge dragon monster, which I'm super proud of, to be honest. Next I programmed everything in and added cool visual effects to the boss fight. It turned out quite simple, but that also fits the game very well in my opinion. It's a simple game in the end. To finally wrap this up, I added a tutorial, main menu and splash screen. Most importantly, I now added sound effects and an atmosphere track that make the game a 10 times better experience. Just like that, I can call this game completed after 3 full weeks of development. This here is the result. I hope you like it, and if you do so, it would mean the world to me if you liked and subscribed. You can also play the game with the link in the description as said at the beginning of the video. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video. Cheers!